In November 1998, Parliament gave the green light to acquire new arms. The total cost 30 billion rand. Several contracts were signed by government in September 1999. The order included corvettes, submarines, light utility helicopters, fight trainers, and advanced fighter aircrafts. On the 9th of September 1999, ID leader Patricia de Lille blew the whistle.
The House therefore calls for the establishment of a full judicial commission of inquiry into the arms acquisition and the offset process to determine whether certain officials and public representatives are guilty of criminal conduct in their dealings with the arms procurement process.
Among those fingered in corruption, former President Thabo Mbeki, President Jacob Zuma, his financial advisor Shabiru Sheikh and his brother Shipi Sheikh, as well as the then Defence Minister Joe Modise. But government dismissed the allegations.
This report is unfortunately something that has a lot of speculation. It's junk, and we reject it with contempt.
In October 2001, the first casualty, ANC Chief Whip Tony Yengeni. He was charged with fraud, perjury and forgery and sent to jail. In 2005, Shabiru Sheikh was sentenced to 15 years in jail. Zuma also faced corruption charges, was later axed by President Mbeki. And after lengthy court battles, those charges were ruled unconstitutional and invalid in September 2008. In October 2010, Hawks Chief Anwar Dramat closed the investigation into the arms deal. On the 15th of September 2011, a commission of inquiry was launched by President Jacob Zuma. Manqoba Mchunu, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Paul Hoffman, the lawyer representing Terry Crawford Brown. Brown compelled the president to launch the inquiry. Today, an emotional time for Hoffman.
Why did we need to spend so much money on arms?
The commissioners objected to Hoffman's line of questioning.
You cross-examining a particular witness, you go back to what happened sometime last month, and even at the beginning when we started, this is what you also did. You then referred to an incident where you came to the office in the evening, wanted to see me alone, and I refused. Now I see you are doing exactly the same thing. At the moment, we are talking about whether the question that you put to this particular witness, whether it's a fair question or whether it's a question that will assist us or not. Can we try and restrict yourself to dealing with the questions of the witnesses before us?
Who were our enemies when you spent all this money on arms?
There was no party line about it, but then so that it became not only a government decision to do that acquisition, but a national decision to re-equip the National Defence Force.
At the heart of today's hearing was the awarding of the Hawks contract to a German company. It alleged there was political interference from late Defence Minister Joe Modise.
What might have happened at some departmental meeting or whatever else, I don't know. But I'm saying the effective decisions, the effective recommendation came from the IMC. And the only decision came from the cabinet. The recommendations of the Interministerial Committee all of them included the element of cost.
The cross-examination of the former president continued until earlier this evening. Lawyers for human rights will cross-examine him on Friday. As if today's tears and emotions were not enough, on Monday the hearings will go a notch up when the second phase gets underway. People who've been implicated and whistleblowers will come head-on. Njanji Chauke, SABC News, Pretoria.
Well, for highlights and an in-depth analysis, you can watch the State of Our Nation later tonight with Vuyomvoko. That's on Channel 404 at 9 p.m.
And the story, of course, generating a lot of interest on social media. Let's take a look at SABC News Online for your Twitter responses. Queensy tweeting saying this arms deal advocate can't be serious, relying on books and newspaper articles as evidence. Leave President Mbeki alone. Isaac tweeting saying, I think former President Thabo Mbeki is not opening up to the nation because he's selective in answering the questions. That's my view.
Rezani says, as much as I want the truth about the arms deal, it pains me to see former State President Mbeki being questions sins of our deals. Anda Boyana says, I really feel that Mbeki is being shielded during this commission. He has not accounted for a single thing.
Toscane is saying, I still like former President Thabo Mbeki, but I feel that the chair is kind of protecting him with this whole issue. And Pierre de Vos tweeting saying, former President Thabo Mbeki's memory is failing him badly. Before the Seriti Commission, in the past, we were told he remembers everything.